Jenny loved a good scare. Not too scary, of course. Just enough to make her heart race. Her two best friends, Marco and Lily, weren't so sure. They preferred their adventures a little less spooky. But Jenny was persuasive, especially when she dared them.
What? Are you chicken?
She teased, pointing at the old abandoned schoolhouse on the hill. It stood silhouetted against the setting sun, windows like vacant eyes. The wind rustled through the dead leaves around it, sounding like whispers. Marco shivered. Lily chewed her lip.
It's just an old school. What could be so scary about that?
The old schoolhouse had been empty for years. Everyone in town knew its story. It was said to be haunted by the ghost of a grumpy old janitor who disappeared one night. Some said he got lost in the school's secret passages. Others whispered he was still there, searching for something he'd lost. Jenny, Marco, and Lily huddled closer as they walked up the cracked path. The air grew colder. The setting sun cast long, eerie shadows.
See, not so scary.
Jenny said, her voice trembling a bit. Marco gulped. Lily's eyes darted nervously around the overgrown yard.
Maybe we should just go home.
Lily squeaked. The front door groaned open with a deafening screech. Dust motes danced in the single beam of light from the setting sun. The air inside was heavy and still, smelling of mildew and decay.
Wow,
Marco breathed, his voice barely a whisper. Even Jenny felt a shiver crawl down her spine, but she squared her shoulders and stepped inside. Lily and Marco hesitantly followed. The door slammed shut behind them with a resounding boom! The hallway stretched before them, dark and ominous. Every creak of the floorboards, every rustle of wind through the broken windows made them jump. They walked down the hallway, their footsteps echoing in the silence.
Did you hear that?
Lily whispered, clutching Marco's arm. A low moan seemed to come from the end of the hall. Marco shook his head, his eyes wide.
It's just the wind,
Jenny said, though her voice lacked conviction. As they walked deeper into the school, the shadows seemed to grow longer, darker, and more menacing. They reached the school library. Books lay scattered on the floor, their covers coated in dust. A sudden crash from the back of the room made them all jump. Sophia, as Lily. Ah! Lily screamed and grabbed Marco, burying her face in his arm. He patted her hand reassuringly, his own heart pounding. Pierre, as Marco. It's okay, Lily. It's probably just a bird. Jenny, though scared herself, knew she had to be brave. She took a deep breath. Lena, as Jenny. Look, we can use this to protect ourselves. Lily giggled nervously, but her grip on Marco loosened. They cautiously made their way to the back of the library, where they found a small door hidden behind a bookshelf.
What if it's a secret passage?
Marco whispered, his eyes wide with excitement. Jenny's heart leaped. This was getting interesting. They pushed the bookshelf aside, revealing a narrow staircase leading down into darkness.
Let's go!
Jenny said, her fear momentarily forgotten in the thrill of discovery. Lily hesitated.
are you sure?
Don't worry, I'll protect you.
Marco said, puffing out his chest. He took Lily's hand and they followed Jenny down the stairs. The air grew colder as they descended. The stairs were damp and covered in cobwebs. Finally, they reached a small, dusty room. A single lantern flickered in the center of the room, casting flickering shadows on the walls. In the middle of the room sat a wooden chest, its lid slightly ajar.
What's in it?
Lily whispered, her eyes fixed on the chest. Jenny took a deep breath and slowly lifted the lid. Inside, nestled amongst yellowed parchment and faded photographs, lay a tarnished silver whistle. As soon as Jenny picked up the whistle, a voice boomed through the room, echoing off the stone walls.
Who dares disturb my things?
It was an old man, his face etched with wrinkles, but his eyes were kind. A figure emerged from the shadows at the top of the stairs.
It's how I called the children in from recess. I lost my whistle down here years ago. I'm the school's old caretaker. It's okay, I'm not a ghost.
He smiled at their surprised faces.
Thank you for finding it.
Relief washed over Jenny, Marco, and Lily. They helped the old caretaker back up the stairs and out of the school. As they walked away from the old schoolhouse, the setting sun painting the sky in shades of orange and purple, they couldn't help but laugh at their adventure. They learned that sometimes the scariest things aren't ghosts or monsters, but our own fears. And they learned that with a little courage and a lot of friendship, even the spookiest of mysteries could be solved. As they walked home, hand in hand, they knew their adventure at the haunted schoolhouse was a story they would never forget.